Hello everyone, it's Uncle Destiny back with you. It's time for our December reading, and this is also going to be the reading that takes us into the winter solstice and the winter season, and we also will end the year with. So we'll be doing the New Year's and January readings at the end of December, so those should show up just before the New Year or just as. And we will see what this month of December has for everybody. I hope everyone has a good solstice, Yule, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, whatever you practice. But may you find these useful, and may your spirits be lifted. All right, we've thrown the bones, and we've had quite a number of them not end up on the reading surface today. So, we're going to just be working what we've got here. And as we've got the quartz piece, the shell, the copper, and at least one of our central bones, as well as our dice, which I'll admit the dice did actually go off the reading surface, but we still want to have its information and influence in the reading. So, I'm just going to reposition that one to here. Alrighty, so let's see. What do we got here? I've got some of the rib bones. So this one, our central one, this one is going to be, this one's a social bone. It's not family, it's not home, but it's social. And with where it's floating, even though it's got these two at the end, it is still out here kind of on its own. And the strong sense that there's a re-understanding about what does it mean in our social lives to be in family, in relation to each other. What does it mean for us to build the structures that we are in? And that's part of what we're seeing here with the support bone here, which is about balance and structure, but also one of the spinal bones here. And this is, again, one of the ones that is about our thoughts. So it's also about understanding the thoughts and reasoning behind why we're living with these feelings. We have feelings, we have to understand them and how they are influencing us positively or negatively. How they are helping us make our decisions, because they're having an influence on any and all decisions we're making. It is not just purely logical, as some people would believe, but those emotions are there, and those emotions are also coming up in how we have social interaction, why we exist in our societies, how we exist in our societies. The month of December is really going to be talking about what is the social capital, social function, social existence. Because if we can't function together socially, we can't really function together as a people, as a country, as a nation, let alone as a world, and expect to be able to live comfortably. So there's a lot of things here in the supports and structures around social. As we move over here to the copper piece, as you can see, we've still got some more of the support bones and spirit. Spirit is doing its working. Spirit is in motion. And it is talking about support. And it is a reminder of just how much of the nature of this world we are still dependent on. Many people, especially those in the first or urbanized worlds, forget that we are still dependent on the weather for our water. And in this last month here in California, I live in Northern California, we had major fires that destroyed thousands of acres and left the area covered in very bad air quality for almost 10 days. It's raining now, which is greatly appreciated to get that smoke out, but again, we need that rain to have the water to not only fight those fires, but had we had more rain, we would have been able to have, those fires wouldn't have been as bad. And here again is nature, is the spirits they're supporting, but they have their rules. And it's time to start remembering those rules, especially if we want to have a social existence, because we live in not just the social with us, but the social with the world itself. So we're going to come over here to the shell and the quartz piece. And again, we have the shell on the inside. So once more, we're dealing with internal components. We're dealing with memory. We're dealing with all of the lessons of the past that we need to be able to look at from multiple different perspectives. And especially in relation to society, our social interactions. Because there are social interactions that we have that go well and some that don't. But the thing about that is, no matter what happens, we're always going to have an interaction. And that interaction is going to be positive or negative. We cannot have positive interactions with every person. We are going to have some negatives. If we do have negatives, can we understand why we're having those negative interactions and grow from them? But there is going to be negative interactions and there's going to be positive interactions. And that's part of what we also see here. While this is not the broken rib bone, this is the one that we have that kind of looks it is a broken rib bone, but it's kind of like a crutch or a cane to stand on to find balance. And we need to find those balances within. We need to find those balances by taking some time and really looking at the events of our past in relation to our social interactions and saying, could I have done this differently? Because it's really also very much about what could I have done differently, as opposed to it's always the other person's fault. So it's about taking some responsibility. It's about taking atonement for decisions when people have felt wronged. And that's part of our social factor. Because if you remember in some of my other videos, I've talked about blame, shame, and guilt. They're an item that people use quite a bit whenever they're hurt. But those things are most effective when there is a relationship and there is a valued relationship with those individuals. So if we're going to be working on learning how to do things differently, we need to be able to look at all those angles and say, what did I do? What did they do? What did we do together? And there's another social aspect. Any situation that happens between two people, there is both of them as well as what they create together as the couple or triple or however many people are there. They create another entity and action, another set of thoughts. And that requires review so it can find balance. Balance for all future events. All right. We got another one over here that's off. That's going to be about inspiration. That's coming in the month of December. And we're going to see some inspiration for the coming 2019. And we got to be able to breathe through it. We got to be able to work through it. So last but not least, we have our dice, which is the number 4, which brings us to the 4th astrological house. And this one is talking about home, family, roots, your emotional foundation. And this is what I'm saying with the social as well as the other ones here is that so much of what we are in a society which makes a home. We are a society which makes a family. And all of those have roots that are good and bad. But we've got to understand them. And we've also got to be able to put them in the perspective that says this helped us or this hurt us. As opposed to it helped a few, it hurt. It can something that can help a few can hurt many. It's also about, as I said, talking about your emotional foundation. Is your emotional foundation one where your ego, your emotions are set in such a sense that everything is negative? No interaction can be positive. If so, these are the ones that we have a question about what are the criteria, question that and challenge that. Is your foundation one that will always have you looking at things in a pessimistic or negative view? Does it always have you looking in a positive view? And as a result, it means when something negative happens, it hits you harder than it could have. Are you looking at things in a realistic, practical view? And it makes others not want to be around you just because what actually happens, and they can't put a positive spin on it, or they can't put a negative spin on it. You're in the middle and you balance. But this is all going to be coming up in this month of December. What is the balance? What is the emotional foundation? What is our families, our homes, and the roots of those things, as they also apply to our societies? This is Uncle Destiny, on behalf of the ancestors, on behalf of the Orishas, Loas, gods, and whatever you believe in, and the creator of all things. I wish you a happy solstice. I wish you a emotional, freeing solstice and New Year's. Ashe.